1850s, a weapon was invented that has become more powerful than America's deadliest weapons of mass destruction. It is the weapon of mass deception, and it is right in our own living rooms. The hypnotizing world of picture television brings us the news of the world through two central news agencies called Reuters and the Associated Press. The Rothschilds bought Reuters in the 1800s, which later bought the Associated Press and made the Rothschild family owners of the world's largest central news services. To the present day, the world depends on these Rothschild-owned central news services as their main source of news and information. In his book called Who Owns the TV Networks, author Eustace Mullins claims that the major TV networks, radio stations, newspapers, and publishing empires are controlled by the Rothschild, Rockefeller, and J.P. Morgan money cartels through their corporate conglomerates. The bankster-owned media conglomerates include weapons manufacturers General Electric and Westinghouse, which profit from promoting wars. Control over the internet, publishing, recording, and top cable companies can be traced back to the same Big Five media empires: General Electric, Time Warner, Viacom, Disney, and News Corp. These media monopolies are owned directly or indirectly by the Rothschild, J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, and Oppenheimer Brotherhood. Yes, there are now more stations and more media voices, but they're all coming from the same ventriloquist. Every TV show needs corporate sponsors, and corporate sponsors sponsor pro-business, pro-government programming, and journalists who support the agenda of the Big Five media owners. While two-thirds of the world goes hungry, these banksters offer gazillion-dollar sponsorships to sports athletes to play with their balls. Why? Because they keep the masses distracted from the important issues. The media and banking monopolists now have the power to make or break political leaders around the globe. Why haven't the networks made a TV movie of the week about how the Bush family made their family fortune?
1997, The Simpsons. Season 9, Episode 1.
Oh, I'd love to see New York. We could all go with the bus company's special Super Sitter fare. $9? This one's on me. Great!
And real quick, here's a clip from Season 21, Episode 20, which is a continuation after 9/11.
Is this what the framers of the Constitution would want? How many personal freedoms are we willing to give up in the name of security? How many personal freedoms are we willing to give up in the name of security?
That blonde girl thinks she's smart, like us dark hair.
Sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Everyone should have a healthy distrust of the media. One of the most dangerous, unspoken things in existence in the world today is a media controlled by a very small group of corporate entities. Every day, we are constantly lied to and constantly told what to think. And most of us never even realize it. It's become a duty and call to action to wake people up to this reality. Before blindly listening to what's hurled at you, everyone has a personal responsibility to at least know what's going on before handing your mind over to the many forms of media indoctrination. In short, wake up. It becomes a frustrating experience to wake people up from the matrix, so to speak, and constantly overhear people all around still completely misdirected and mired in false narratives. The day after the attack in Paris, for example, almost everyone immediately began talking about how crazy people in the world are today, changing their profiles to French flags and immediately posting support and condolences. And the irony was that no one had a clue about what really happened or why the entire world was made to watch. In addition to that, most people are lazy, distracted by a capitalistic existence, don't know they are brainwashed, and most times don't know what they are doing or why. Your thoughts are not your own, and you're being led by the hand every step of the way. Most people openly and defiantly do not trust their governments. People know better. However, simultaneously, they overtly trust each and everything their government does, says, and presents anyway. Because most people trust corporate news narratives where they get most of their information and never question any of it. Most people are still completely unaware that governments orchestrate and/or stage events all the time. This was always done throughout history and is still maintained today. This is nothing new under the sun. You can't even explain this to sheeple, because you might become the one under attack or ridiculed for trying to tell people the real truth. Unfortunately, we have a world of people who don't understand how the world works. The media is not for information, it's for indoctrination. It's owned and operated by a very small group, and the objective of news media is compromised. It's not about informing you about what's going on in the world. The main function is to carry out agendas and control what you think, how you behave, and what you believe.
We're in a live exercise.
Quiero llamar al orden a este cónclave secreto de los medios del país. Estamos aquí para inventar la próxima crisis falsa que pondrá a los ciudadanos donde deben estar, en cuartos oscuros, pegados a sus televisores, aterrados de saltarse los comerciales. Hay que recurrir al clásico susto de salud pública.
Una nueva enfermedad. Nadie es inmune. Es como el verano del tiburón, excepto que en lugar de tiburón hay una epidemia y en lugar de un verano es todo el tiempo.
Lo único ético que hay que hacer es liberar un virus mortífero entre el público.
Aquí hay algo que estábamos guardando, pero no ha sido probado. Ya tenemos nuestra enfermedad mortal. Ahora solo debemos culpar a algo a lo que el público le tenga miedo.
Ya viene la influenza de gatos, amigos. Así que estén alerta. Ese cálido cuerpo sobre su regazo podría estar listo para destruir sus tiernas entrañas.
¡No!
Su creador, Matt Groening, parece tener la bola de cristal todo el tiempo. ¿O acaso él pertenece a algún tipo de club, por así decirlo, donde ahí se sabe todo lo que pasará y luego lo plasma a modo de broma en el famoso dibujo animado? El patrón que ocurre con los virus en el mundo es tan obvio que hasta la élite se permite el lujo de bromear en nuestra cara.
1989, Jason Takes Manhattan, movie poster. 1991, Terminator 2. 1991, Spider-Man comic. 1991, Tetra Star video game. 1992, King of Monsters video game.
That
You are a slave, Neo.
Because there's a bunch of devil worshippers in Hollywood. Devil worshippers in Hollywood.
I've got one that can see.
Devil worshippers in Hollywood.
Hail, Satan. What are you doing? Trying to summon the devil. Why? Nothing good on TV. We have no boyfriends. We're bored. Something to do. Hail, Satan, the minister of sinister. Rude dude with the bad tooth. Save us, Marge. We'll never make fun of any man you date or marry. Mr. Demon, could you come back for my sisters later?
Very well. You have 30 years. But when I return, Marge, I shall take your favorite child.
I thought I was the favorite. Not the favorite, not the favorite.
Listen, pal, you seem like an honest guy. Is there any other deal that you can accept?
Three-way.
You, me, and Marge?
Demon, you.
I guess it's one of those things a dad has to do. Now, before we start, what's the safe word?
Cinnamon.
Ooh, I like that. Now, I'd like to try something new, if you don't mind.
Cinnamon, 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 cinnamon!
Un hombrecito rico y canoso ha muerto. ¿Y eso qué tiene que ver con el precio del arroz, eh? ¿Y por qué decir, ay de nosotros? Porque todos ustedes y 62 millones de americanos me están escuchando ahora, porque menos del 3% de ustedes leen libros. Porque menos del 15% de ustedes leen los periódicos. Porque la única verdad que oyen es la que se transmite por televisión. En nuestros días hay toda una nueva generación que no está enterada de nada que no haya salido por ese aparato. El televisor es el evangelio, la última revelación. El televisor puede ser la fortuna o la ruina de presidentes, papas, primeros ministros. El televisor tiene el más imponente y maldito poder que existe en nuestro desorientado mundo. Y hay de nosotros si llega a caer en manos de los malvados. Y por esa razón hay de nosotros porque Edward Short Rudy ha muerto. Porque ustedes no van a enterarse de la verdad por nosotros. Les diremos cuanto quieran oír. Mentimos como hablamos. Les diremos que la policía siempre captura al asesino y que nadie tiene cáncer en los hospitales. Y que aunque el héroe esté perdido, si miran el reloj, dentro de media hora no falla. Saldrá airoso. Les contaremos toda la porquería que quieran ustedes oír. Jugamos con ilusiones. Nada es verdad. Pero ustedes se quedan ahí sentados día tras día, noche tras noche. Gente de todas las edades, colores y credos. Somos lo único que conocen. Empiezan a creer en las ilusiones que fabricamos aquí. Empiezan a creer que la televisión es la realidad y que sus propias vidas son irreales. Hacen todo cuanto les dice el televisor, visten según les dice, comen según les aconseja, crían a sus hijos siguiendo sus normas, incluso piensan igual que él. Esto es una locura en masa, son maniáticos. En nombre de Dios, ustedes son seres reales, nosotros somos las ilusiones. Es mejor que apaguen sus aparatos de televisión. Apáguenlos ahora, apáguenlos ahora, apáguenlos y déjenlos apagados. Apáguenlos en medio de esta frase que les estoy diciendo ahora. ¡Apáguenlos!